Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Ready for another deep dive into the world of science and tech?
Absolutely. There's always something new and groundbreaking happening.
Today we're focusing on the latest news in bioinformatics, AI, and healthcare tech. Lots to unpack.
Definitely. It seems like every day brings another exciting development.
Let's start with a fascinating development from St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Oh, yeah, the new tool for RNA sequencing analysis. I was just reading about that.
They've come up with a way to improve analysis by taking transcriptome size into account.
Which hasn't really been done systematically before. Big implications.
So for our listeners who might not be familiar with RNA sequencing, can you give us a quick rundown of what it is and why this new tool is such a big deal?
Sure. RNA sequencing, or RNA-seq as it's often called, is a technique to study all the RNA molecules in a cell at a given moment. It's basically a snapshot of gene expression, which is crucial for understanding how cells function, how they respond to their environment, and how diseases develop.
So how does considering the transcriptome size change the game?
Well, the transcriptome is the complete set of RNA molecules in a cell, and its size can vary significantly.
Right, and traditional RNA sequencing analysis hasn't really considered that variation.
Exactly. And by taking transcriptome size into account, this new tool can provide more accurate measurements of gene expression.
I see. So it's refining the data we get from RNA sequencing.
Precisely. And this is a big deal because it could lead to better diagnostic tools. Imagine being able to detect subtle changes in gene expression that are linked to specific diseases.
That would be a game changer for early diagnosis.
Absolutely. And it could also help researchers develop more targeted therapies. If we know exactly which genes are being overexpressed or underexpressed in a disease, we can design treatments that specifically target those genes.
This is really highlighting how important computational tools are becoming in bioinformatics.
Oh, without a doubt. We're dealing with massive amounts of data in this field, and we need powerful computational tools to make sense of it all. Take deep learning, for example. There's a new deep learning model called ReboTie that's been making waves.
I was just getting to that. ReboTie. Fascinating stuff. It's helping us decode RNA translation, right?
Yep. RNA translation is the process where the genetic instructions encoded in RNA are used to build proteins. It's fundamental to life, and ReboTie is giving us a new window into how it works.
And it's not just about understanding the basics of translation. ReboTie has the potential to unlock new insights into diseases like cancer, right?
Absolutely. ReboTie works by analyzing data from ribosome profiling.
Ribosome profiling.
It's a technique that pinpoints where ribosomes, the molecular machines that build proteins, are binding to RNA molecules.
So by studying those binding patterns.
ReboTie can figure out which parts of the RNA are actually being translated into proteins and how that process is regulated. And this is where it gets really interesting for cancer research.
Because ReboTie can analyze both healthy and cancerous tissues.
Exactly. By comparing the two, researchers can identify differences in RNA translation between healthy cells and cancer cells. This can provide crucial insights into how cancer cells manipulate protein synthesis for their own nefarious purposes.
So we're talking about understanding how cancer cells grow and spread.
Precisely. And that knowledge can pave the way for new, more targeted cancer treatments. So yeah, ReboTie is a big deal.
It sounds like it. Definitely a powerful tool in the fight against cancer. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about another exciting development in genomics. Illumina is making waves with its new single-cell sequencing solution.
Yes, I heard about that. They're aiming to make single-cell sequencing more accessible.
Which is huge. Single-cell sequencing is a game changer in itself.
Absolutely. Unlike traditional sequencing methods that analyze DNA or RNA from a bulk sample of cells, single-cell sequencing allows us to look at the genetic makeup of individual cells.
So we're getting a much more granular view of cellular diversity and complexity.
It's like going from a blurry picture to high definition. And that level of detail is revolutionizing our understanding of development, disease, and even evolution.
It sounds like it. But if single-cell sequencing is so revolutionary, why hasn't it been more widely adopted already?
Well, until recently, it's been very expensive and technically challenging. You needed specialized equipment, expertise, and a hefty budget.
So essentially, it was only accessible to well-funded institutions and labs.
Pretty much. But Illumina's new solution is aiming to democratize single-cell sequencing by making it more affordable and user-friendly.
So they're trying to bring this powerful technology to a wider range of researchers.
Exactly. And that's exciting because it could lead to a surge in discoveries across various fields. Imagine what we could learn about the brain, the immune system, the development of embryos, if more researchers had access to single-cell sequencing. The possibilities are immense.
It sounds like Illumina's new solution could really accelerate scientific progress.
I think so. It's definitely a development to watch closely.
Agreed. Speaking of advancements, AI is also making a big splash in healthcare. We've seen a flurry of publications lately exploring its potential.
Oh, yeah. It seems like AI is everywhere these days. And for good reason. It has the potential to revolutionize healthcare in so many ways.
Nature.com had a particularly interesting article on using AI to improve physician performance. They were looking at GPT-4, a large language model from OpenAI.
Right, the one that can generate human quality text. What were they doing with that in a healthcare setting?
They were using it to assist physicians with various patient care tasks, things like summarizing medical records, drafting referral letters, and even answering patient questions.
And what were the results?
Pretty impressive. They found that GPT-4 significantly improved physician performance on those tasks. The physicians were able to complete tasks more efficiently and accurately with GPT-4's assistance.
That's fascinating. It suggests that AI could be a powerful tool for augmenting physician capabilities.
Exactly. And it's not just about improving efficiency. AI could also help to reduce medical errors and improve patient safety.
I can definitely see that. AI can analyze vast amounts of data and identify patterns that humans might miss, which could be incredibly valuable in a medical setting.
Another article on Nature.com caught my eye. It was about using AI to diagnose challenging gastrointestinal cases.
Oh, that's an area where AI could really shine. Gastrointestinal disorders can be notoriously difficult to diagnose.
That's what the researchers were finding. They were using AI models to analyze medical images and patient data.
And
The AI models performed remarkably well, even outperforming some experienced gastroenterologists in certain cases.
that's impressive. It highlights the potential for AI to improve diagnostic accuracy, especially in complex cases.
Exactly, and it could be particularly beneficial in areas where access to specialists is limited.
It could really help to democratize access to high-quality healthcare.
Precisely. It seems like the convergence of bioinformatics, AI, and healthcare tech is really starting to gain momentum.
It's an exciting time to be following these fields. So much innovation happening.
Speaking of innovation, we can't forget about the industry giants who are pushing the boundaries of medicine. 10x Genomics is making big moves with its expansion into single-cell and spatial analysis.
Oh, yeah. They're really trying to make those technologies standard practice in research and drug development.
And then there's Recursion Pharmaceuticals. Following their merger with Exscientia, they're going all in on developing a virtual cell.
Yes, the virtual cell. That's a project with massive potential.
Can you give us a quick overview of what they're trying to do?
Basically, they're trying to create a detailed computer simulation of a human cell.
A virtual cell.
Yep. And the idea is that you could use this virtual cell to test the effects of drugs or genetic interventions in a simulated environment.
So instead of doing experiments on real cells or animals,
You could run simulations on the virtual cell and get a pretty good idea of how a drug or genetic change might affect a real cell.
that's amazing. This sounds like something out of science fiction.
It does, doesn't it? But it's becoming more and more realistic.
It would revolutionize drug discovery.
Absolutely. Imagine being able to test thousands, even millions of drug candidates virtually before moving on to animal or human trials.
It would accelerate drug development and potentially make it much cheaper.
Exactly. And it could also reduce our reliance on animal testing. So yeah, the virtual cell project is definitely one to watch.
It sounds like it. We're definitely going to have to keep an eye on that one.
It'll be fascinating to see how it develops.
That would drastically accelerate drug discovery. Stepping back for a moment, it's striking how all these different fields are converging. Bioinformatics, AI, genomics, drug development.
It really is. They're all coming together to push the boundaries of medicine, and the pace of innovation is remarkable.
It makes you wonder what kind of ethical frameworks we're going to need to navigate all these breakthroughs. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's crucial that we have open and honest discussions about the responsible and ethical use of these technologies. I mean, they raise some pretty important questions about privacy and data security, for starters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, how do we make sure that AI algorithms aren't perpetuating existing healthcare disparities, for example?
That's a big one. We need to make sure these technologies are used to benefit everyone, not just a select few.
Definitely. These are conversations we need to be having now as these technologies become more and more integrated into our lives. But for now, let's shift gears back to the companies we were discussing. Can you elaborate a bit more on Recursion Pharmaceuticals' virtual cell project?
Sure. So as I mentioned, they're aiming to create a highly detailed computer simulation of a human cell. This virtual cell would allow researchers to test the effects of various drugs and genetic interventions all within a simulated environment.
It sounds incredibly ambitious. What are the potential benefits of such a system?
Oh, the potential benefits are huge. Imagine being able to test thousands, even millions of drug candidates in a virtual environment. You could weed out the duds really quickly and focus on the most promising candidates.
That would certainly speed things up and potentially reduce the need for animal testing as well.
Exactly. It could revolutionize the way we develop new drugs.
What kind of impact do you think this could have on the pharmaceutical industry as a whole?
Well, the traditional drug discovery process is notoriously slow and expensive. It can take years and billions of dollars to bring a new drug to market.
And a lot of that time and money is spent on clinical trials that ultimately fail.
Right. But with a virtual cell platform, you could potentially identify the most promising drug candidates much earlier in the process. This could significantly reduce the time and cost involved in drug development.
It would be a massive shift and potentially lead to the development of more effective and targeted therapies.
Precisely. It's important to remember that this is still early stage research, and there are many challenges to overcome.
Of course. But the potential benefits are so significant that it's definitely an area worth watching closely.
Absolutely. It has the potential to transform medicine as we know it.
It really does feel like we're on the verge of a new era in drug discovery with all these converging technologies.
And not just drug discovery, but medicine as a whole. The potential for positive change is just enormous. I mean, think about everything we've discussed today, from the advances in RNA sequencing analysis to the development of virtual cells.
It all points to a future where medicine is more precise, more personalized, more effective.
Exactly.
It's both exciting and a little mind-boggling to think about how these developments might impact our lives in the years to come.
I know what you mean.
Like, imagine a world where diseases are diagnosed and treated earlier and more effectively, where drug discovery is accelerated, and where personalized medicine becomes the standard of care.
It's an exciting vision of the future.
It really is. And it's not just a pipe dream either. Researchers and innovators all over the world are working tirelessly to make this vision a reality.
They are. It's a really inspiring time to be in this field.
It is. But as with any transformative technology, I think we need to approach these advancements with a healthy dose of caution as well as enthusiasm.
Oh, absolutely. We need to be mindful of the ethical considerations and the potential unintended consequences as we integrate these technologies into healthcare.
Exactly.
I think open dialogue and thoughtful consideration are going to be absolutely essential as we move forward.
I agree.
We need to make sure that these advancements are accessible to everyone and that they're used responsibly and ethically.
I couldn't agree more.
And we need to guard against potential biases that could exacerbate existing health disparities.
Yeah, that's a crucial point.
And then, of course, there are the concerns about data privacy and security, which are only going to become more pressing as AI plays an increasingly prominent role in healthcare.
A lot to think about.
It is, but these are conversations we need to be having now.
Absolutely. Well, as our deep dive comes to an end, is there any key takeaway you'd like to leave our listeners with today?
I think the main takeaway is that the pace of innovation in bioinformatics, AI, and healthcare technology is truly remarkable. These fields are converging to reshape the future of medicine, offering tremendous potential to improve human health and well-being.
I like that.
And while challenges and ethical considerations certainly remain, the future of medicine is undeniably exciting. It's filled with possibilities that were once considered science fiction.
Well said. It's been a fascinating journey exploring these groundbreaking advancements with you. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the future of medicine.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk about this stuff.
Until next time, then stay curious and stay informed.
And don't forget to subscribe to The Deep Dive for more explorations of the cutting edge of science and technology.